Sins Workshop. Hope you're having a wonderful day. So, today we're going to be reviewing Ever Since. I'm going to try to rein in this review because this is a book that is, I loved it. I absolutely love this book. Let me start with that. But it is not for the faint of heart, and it is very emotional. It's very emotional, and it's very powerful, and it's about learning to find your voice and regain your identity, and moving on from childhood assault. So it's a really heavy novel. It really is. And when I picked it up, I picked it up because it was the Book of the Month winner on my website, and I'm like, okay, let me read this. It's not something that I would normally pick up. Well, that's not true. When it comes to books on heavy topics, I really have to be caught up in the cover. Because unfortunately, yes, I do judge a book by its cover. So I think if I were to see it at the bookstore, I don't think it would necessarily pull me. But the cover online, when I did select it, it did pull me. And the synopsis as well caught my attention. So I'm glad I read it because, whew, it was such a phenomenal novel. You have Brusas, the author, and God, she's telling this story about Virginia. Now, Virginia is known as that girl, right? She's the one who's considered easy, and you know they do slut shame her a lot in the book, and they do call her a slut a lot of the times. And the book is also written in first person as well, so she has kind of relegated herself to being that girl. Oh, I make bad choices, you know. And she's kind of made her peace with being known as that girl, at being kind of used by boys as just an object. And it's really, I mean, it's heartbreaking. And then you don't even know why. You know, you don't know why in the beginning, but then she meets, you know, Poppy's boyfriend, right? So Poppy has just up and left for no reason. No word to her friends. She's just vanished. Gone to stay with her grandparents. And so she starts bonding with Poppy's boyfriend, and Poppy's boyfriend has a little sister. And what she discovers is his little sister is starting to be groomed by the same man, pillar of the community, who assaulted her at a young age when she was a child. So now she's just trying to figure out how can she regain her voice so that she cannot let what happened to her happen to this little girl. And it's really moving, and it's very empowering because she's learning to regain her voice. She's learning to analyze the behavior and why she lets herself just be treated as an object, and why she lets guys just force themselves on her. And she's a survivor. She's a victim, and she's a survivor. And it's just so powerful to see her regain her voice and to regain agency on her identity, and no longer let the long-term abuse that she suffered as a child define her and warp her sense of identity and her sense of self-worth. She no longer has to define her self-worth by what she means to guys and how she can satisfy other boys, you know. And it's just such a powerful story. And as someone who has gone through something similar, it's really the book I wish I had read when I was in high school. It really is the book I wish I had read when I was in high school, because I think it would have helped me make better sense of the way I viewed myself and the way boys treated me, and then I wouldn't. I think I would have been stronger for it, honestly, to recognize the behavior and put a stop to it and find my voice. And it's not an easy thing to find your voice. I don't think I found my voice until I was in college. You know, so all through high school. And then my first 2 years of college, and mind you, I had to defer my first 2 years. So my first 2 years of college, so that was 8 years, you know, and some people have to go longer without recognizing what was wrong or coming to terms with it and moving on from it. But it's a tough journey, you know, one that I'm familiar with. So when I read this book, I was just like, damn, I wish I had read this book when I was in high school. I wish I had read this book, and I think it would have helped me regain my voice, because it's just such an empowering story. It is empowering, it is moving, it is emotional, it is heartbreaking. And what I also like about what the author did is she's not explicit. You know what's happening because of context. You know, especially when she recounts this one particular memory, it was hard to read. And again, she's not detailed, but you know exactly what's going on in the scene. You know what's going on. And it's heartbreaking, and I mean, it's disgusting, even though it's not explicit. Just the fact that you know that this little girl at age 11 is being physically assaulted by a man in his 30s. It's just, I mean, it's vile, and you know what? It should make you uncomfortable, and that's why I like about the book, because it addresses these tough topics, but in a way that is not explicit, and I think in a way that is emotional and opens up the room for discussion, because that's what they're doing in the scene. She's recounting the event to her friends, and there's solidarity there. There is solidarity and sisterhood with her friends, and they're not judging her, they're not blaming her. She's finding that she has her voice again. And in doing so, she has just saved someone else from what happened to her. And it's I hate saying the word it was done tastefully, because it's not tasteful, anything about it. But the way it was written was tasteful, even though it sparked so much rage in me. And just, it was just an emotional book. It's not for the faint of heart, but I do think it is an important book to read. I think it was, again, I'm going to use the word tastefully, even though I don't think that's quite the right word, but it was done in a way that evokes emotion without being explicit. And I think that is what really makes the book stand out. Because it's able to tell the story, and it's able to hold your attention, and it's able to make you kind of just see things. Just to see. So, I mean, this was a 5-star read. I think it was written wonderfully. I'm a huge fan of this author after reading this book. Definitely, if you read Courtney Summers, you're going to like this book. You may not be emotionally ready for it, because I'm still reeling from this one and Sadie, but you definitely will like it, if not love it, because it is brilliantly written. It is emotional, it is heartbreaking, it makes you feel things, and it hooked me. I was gripped, just like when I was reading Sadie, I was gripped from beginning to end. And I'm just going to leave it there. I'm just going to leave that at that, because I don't think I can keep talking about this book and how emotional it made me. But it was such a good book. It really is. It's a book you can read for discussion. It's a book that can be read in the classroom setting, so that way, in a safe environment, people can talk about it. And that's my big takeaway from it. It opens up the door for discussion, and in a safe environment, I think it really will help people. Like I said, if I had read it in high school, I think it really would have helped me a whole lot. I really do. So, 5 out of 5 stars if you want to go ahead and purchase the book. I will, of course, include links in the description. On that note, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with all your book-loving friends. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and as always, happy reading.